Hello guys, it is a Thursday and that only means one thing. We're heading out today to go and fit some new rims and tyres to the XC90. I sort of feel slightly bad for getting rid of the 20-inch rims, but it's got to happen in order to put something on the car which is going to be more useful for off-road. So let's get going. Enjoy the day. So there we are guys, first job of the day done. Here they are behind me, the glorious rims. So we're going to take them down to the tyre shop. We're going to get our all-terrains fitted and then we're going to have a look on the car. Now, the guy I've just actually spoken to said that the height of those tyres might cause it to touch the top of the strut, so I might not actually be running these home today as I may need spacers to push the wheels out. So we'll literally see what happens as we come up. So let's head on down and get these fitted. So guys, I am here at Next Wheels and Tyres. The car's in there. The only problem we have found though is that the rims I bought and the tyres are fitted are touching the top of the shock, so you're not going to get to see them on the car just yet because I've got to get back home, take them off, give them a paint, and then once the spacers are on, they'll be a good one. So until then, you'll have to wait. So guys, it's done. The wheels are on. So I'm now going to show you how the wheels look, and then afterwards we're going to see what height we've gained from the wheels. There's also a small little point I want to make. Because I couldn't actually go to the tyre size I wanted, and there's also something you need to do to make this tyre size fit without rubbing as well, and that will all come now. So my brakes suddenly look a lot bigger than they were. What do you guys think? So we've obviously dropped down to 17s. We had the glorious 20s on before. I will throw you a little photo on here now. And we've gone down to 17s. Now, what we've done is we've actually increased the height of the truck from the ground by an amount I'm going to tell you very soon. And we've also got some all-terrains. So mud tyres are not for me due to the distance I travel, but in the winter, where we do some very hardcore stuff and it's very wet and boggy, mud terrains will come in. But for now, these are the all-terrains for now, moving through into the summer and into the later stage of the year, and I think they're going to do me very well. So the tyre size we've gone for is a 265 65 17, and what I wanted to actually do was to go for a 265 70, but the problem with the 70 was two things. The 70 was one, actually higher than the top or the lower part of the shock, so it was fouling. Now, you might be able to run these on a 70, but if I'm honest with you, you've got very little poking room either side of the tyre. Secondly, with a 70, you're going to have to run such a high offset with spacers or wheels that it's probably going to come out way too far out of the arch. But if you're happy to run with it sticking out of the arch, that is up to you. And the third issue I also saw with it as well is basically without spacers, you're going to be fouling on the shock, not just height but also inside, especially with the 17s that are quite tucked in. So there we are guys, that's how close it gets to the shock. It is very close, so spacers are needed. In terms of tucking, as you can see, I've had no rubbing here and I've had no rubbing here down the side. If you have side steps like mine, they do sit quite far back. It's quite close here, I must say. It's very close there, but again, no rubbing issues. And then we've got plenty of space on the back. So in terms of fitment, that setup works. So in order for this setup to run as it does, it is sat on a set of 20mm spacers front and rear. I must say, in my opinion, the rear could come out a bit more and the front should probably go in a little bit more, but we're not here for stance, it's not about that, and it works as it does. I have gone for a test drive up to 70, around corners, roundabouts, bumps, no rubbing, no scrubbing, no hitting. But please be aware, if you're going to run 265, 65, that they will foul on the bottom of the shock. So you'd have to run, I'm running 20, I would say realistically looking at it, 20 is really what you're going to get. I was about to fall over. But yeah, they're great. So they're not perfect. If you come and see them up close, they're a bit scuffed and all the rest of it. But I've painted them with a sort of shadow silver, which is a slightly darker silver than standard, sort of sits between silver and gunmetal grey. You know, and some of you might love it, some of you might hate it, but I think it really complements the look, and it certainly is much softer to drive as well. So with this, we've gained roughly half an inch of lift, or ground clearance. With the 70 profile, you gain around an inch, so we didn't get as much as I was hoping. But obviously, in a minute, we'll go back to our flat ground and we'll measure the lowest 2 points there, and we'll give you some feedback. A little side note: these pesky sidebars I was going to remove and sell, but it turns out they're sort of rusted on. Now I could cut them off, but by cutting them off, I'm going to lose all the value of selling them. And quite frankly, I sort of think they look okay. They really need to polish up, which is what I'm going to go and do after this video. But I'm going to keep them, I think, unless they become a real problem off-road. They're going to stay as they are because they're sort of semi-permanently on there. It's basically one bolt on the front of each side, which is basically it's eating away into the inside of the chassis, so it's just spinning. So they're going to need cutting off. So I was going to remove them, but they're going to be staying on there. So it is as simple as that. So let's get on down to our spot and see how much height we have gained on these tyres. So here we are, guys. Now it is time to measure. So I'm going to do it correctly this time, and I'm going to do it this way round. So I'm going to measure from the top of the tyre first on the front and rear, and then we're going to go from the points we had last time, which are down here and down there, and we'll let you know. So from arch to tyre, it's quite hard to tell actually, but I would say we've literally only got 6 centimetres of clearance on the rear, and then the front, I would say it's 5.5 centimetres. And in terms of clearance from the floor, we're sat exactly on 24 centimetres on the front, and then the rear is, if I've got enough length, would be would be helpful. Let's try to do it this way, right? Give me a second. So that's 44 centimetres. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little table showing you the loss of arch gap, which will obviously be regaining again soon when we come to lift it, and then also the gained height from the new tyre setup. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of the new wheel and tyre setup. What are we rating it? I know a lot of you will be hating on the all-terrains, but it's what I've got to use for now in the circumstances that I'm under. But it's certainly better than a set of old road tyres will ever be. So guys, it's an exciting time. This is soon to go off-road, and there's lots of content coming very soon. So I'll see you all in the next XC90 update.